The International Music Festival of India was inaugurated last month with an evocative performance by composer Philip Glass. Glass, who has greatly influenced the younger generation of American composers, returned to India, the country that has had a profound impact on his work.
I was very impressed particularly by the ideas of rhythmic structure, because it doesn't have that particular, if you take it out of the context of Indian music, it doesn't sound particularly Indian, and it can be used in any kinds of music. So this, at that time, was a very important influence on me, and over the next 10 or 15 years, I worked it into the vocabulary, into the language of my music. Today, it's behind everything, in a way. The idea of using rhythm as structure is in everything I do, and that has really set me apart from other Western composers.
His famous opera, Satyagraha, was showcased on Broadway in New York. The opera was in a manner a tribute to India and a homage to Mahatma Gandhi.
During the 70s, I got very interested in Gandhi as a, not just as a personality, but as a repository of ideas which I felt was clear to me were perhaps the most important ideas in terms of political change and social change of the 20th century. That virtually every political movement of the 20th century owes something to Gandhi.
Philip Glass candidly admits that the Indian maestros from the world of classical Indian music remain the source of inspiration for him, and with some of whom he even shares a master-pupil relationship.
I was hired to be Ravi Shankar's assistant. He was really a master, and I was the student in a way. That was the relationship. So coming back with him 20 years later, and he suggested we do a record together, I was very flattered. We had kept in touch over the years, and he knew my music, and he thought it would be an interesting idea. As you know, he's done many experiments in East-West kind of things. It was difficult for me to get over the idea that I still see him as the master, and I'm the student. It's 20 years later, and I'm 55, and it's 25 years later, and I'm 55, and he's 73, and I still see him that way.
His curtain-raising performances for the India International Music Festival took him to several cities around the country, where the originality of this gifted artist was further embellished by John Gibson's brilliant renditions on the saxophone. The dancer Melissa Fendley performed her haunting numbers to Philip Glass's original compositions. Philip Glass, the great composer, whose tonal experiments in music have been inspired by India's musical legacy.